You know that moment when you're standing in the garden center looking at a seed packet and you notice the price, and then you wonder, how much are they actually marking this up? More than you think. In fact, most people have no idea that the seed sources professionals rely on every single season are sitting right there on the internet, completely free to access. I'm about to pull back the curtain on where the serious growers actually shop and why nurseries would rather keep you in the dark about these places. Before we get started, if you grow vegetables, herbs, or flowers, you need to see this. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I release new growing tips every single week, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Drop a like on this video too. It really helps me create more content just like this. Here's the truth. When you walk into any nursery, they're buying seeds and starter plants wholesale, then marking up prices 200, sometimes 300%. You end up paying double for exactly what they decide to stock that season. Limited varieties, limited options. You're forced to work with what's available, not what you actually want. But what if you could skip the middleman entirely? What if you could access the exact same sources that professional growers, botanical gardens, and master gardeners use? That's precisely what I'm revealing today. In the next few minutes, I'm showing you 8 hidden places to buy seeds and plants in 2025. These aren't sketchy websites. These are legitimate suppliers that commercial growers rely on. I'm starting with beginner-friendly sources and working toward the absolute best insider source that professionals guard like a state secret. Source number 1 at the end, it's completely free. You won't believe it exists. Let's dive in. Source 8, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. It is based in Mansfield, Missouri. If you've never heard of them, get ready to fall down a rabbit hole of amazing plant varieties. These people are the treasure chest of the seed world. They specialize in rare and heirloom varieties, thousands of options. Purple carrots, heirloom beans from the 1800s, tomato varieties you didn't know existed. The best part? Their seeds are open-pollinated and completely non-GMO. That means you can save them year after year. For container gardeners and small space growers, they offer dwarf and patio-friendly varieties, compact tomatoes, mini melons that perform amazingly in raised beds. You're not forcing a 6-foot tomato vine into a tiny pot and watching it struggle. Here's the money-saving part. Since they sell seed packets instead of live plants, one $3 packet can grow an entire container garden. Compare that to buying 30 starter plants at $5 each. That's $150 versus $3. The math is ridiculous. They also publish a free annual catalog that looks like a coffee table book. Beautiful photos, stories about each plant, where it comes from, the history behind it. Reading through it is pure inspiration. You also get control over timing. You start seeds when you want. This means stronger, healthier plants adapted to your specific growing conditions. Plants you start from seed often outperform nursery transplants because they never experience transplant shock. Order early. Baker Creek's popular varieties sell out fast. When their new catalog releases each year, items disappear quicker than concert tickets. If you want access to unique patio-friendly varieties, make your decisions early. Get your order in January or February. Don't wait until March or April when everyone else is panic ordering. You'll have first pick of everything. Have you ever grown heirloom varieties, or do you usually stick with what's at the store? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you prefer. Source 7, Seed Savers Exchange. Seed Savers Exchange, based in Decorah, Iowa. This one's different from everything else on this list. It's actually a nonprofit organization. Their entire mission revolves around preserving garden heritage. They focus specifically on heirloom and open-pollinated seeds, the varieties your grandparents or great-grandparents might have grown before big commercial hybrids took over the entire market. What makes Seed Savers Exchange special isn't just that they have amazing variety, though they absolutely do. It's the story and purpose behind everything. Every seed packet you purchase actively supports the preservation of genetic diversity in our food systems. They're literally saving old seed varieties that might otherwise completely disappear forever. This is gardening with real purpose behind it. That resonates strongly with a lot of us who care about more than just getting a harvest at the end of the season. From a practical money perspective, Seed Savers Exchange delivers fantastic value for budget-conscious gardeners. Most of their seed packets come at moderate prices. You're absolutely not paying those inflated retail nursery markups. Here's where your dollars really stretch further. Because these seeds are open-pollinated, you can save seeds from your healthiest performing plants and replant them next season. You're not continuously buying new seeds every single year. You're creating a cycle that keeps producing value year after year. For container gardeners especially, that's incredibly empowering. You could start with just one pot of basil or a few pepper plants. At the end of the season, save those seeds. Next year, free seeds. You're spending $0 on plants from that point forward, just your soil and water. The mechanics are simple enough that anyone can do it. Take an old seed packet, label it clearly, write the date, write a note about how the plant performed that year, store it somewhere cool and dry. You've just built your own mini seed bank at home. That's all it takes. They also host seed swaps and community events where members trade varieties. If you join their membership program, you get access to their member seed exchange. This is where you can request rare varieties directly from other gardeners who've been growing them for years. It's like having thousands of gardening friends across the country who will send you seeds in the mail. The membership costs about $40 a year, but you get access to varieties you literally cannot buy anywhere else. Heritage tomatoes from Italy, rare beans from Appalachia, peppers that aren't sold commercially anymore. Source number 6 flies under the radar with most gardeners, but it's a favorite with people who take sustainable growing seriously. Southern Exposure Seed Exchange out of Mineral, Virginia, focuses on one critical thing: vegetables and herbs specifically bred to thrive in challenging conditions. Heat, humidity, less than perfect soil. Sound familiar? That's most of our gardens. What I genuinely appreciate about Southern Exposure is how intentional they are with every choice they make about what to offer. They focus specifically on varieties that handle heat and humidity effectively. Varieties that perform well even in less than ideal soil conditions. Let's be honest, most of our gardens fall into that less than perfect category. That's just reality. Their pricing stays fair and reasonable. They frequently offer what they call variety packs. These are basically small bundles combining different varieties of the same crop. Want to test 3 different tomato types, but don't want to buy 3 separate full-size packets? These bundles let you do exactly that. Same price as buying 1 or 2 packets. You get more experimentation, you keep things interesting, your budget stays intact. One practical tip from my own experience: before you complete your purchase, take a look at their shipping costs. They're reasonable in most cases, but if you're ordering several different items, you want to balance that shipping cost against these variety packs. Sometimes buying more items with one shipping charge makes way more financial sense than smaller orders with multiple shipping fees. A small calculation that adds up to significant savings if you're working with a tight gardening budget. Southern Exposure represents the kind of company that quietly supports how most of us actually garden. Small scale, thoughtful, sustainable. They're not flashy. They don't push gimmicks or trendy products, but they absolutely deliver reliable results. Once you try them, you'll probably come back every single season. That's the mark of a company doing things right. Source 5. Botanical Interests. Source number 5 isn't super mysterious, but it's criminally overlooked. Botanical Interests out of Broomfield, Colorado. What makes them special? Their seed packets are basically mini growing classes. The packet flap has detailed instructions printed right there. Spacing, sunlight needs, harvest timing, common mistakes to avoid. It's like holding a pocket lesson for every single crop. Years ago, I bought beautiful heirloom seeds from a premium supplier. No instructions. I planted them too deep, overwatered, wrong spacing, basically every rookie mistake. Half never sprouted. Total disaster. If I'd started with Botanical Interests, their packets would have walked me through every step. The germination quality is consistently solid. I've been using their herb seeds for 3 seasons now. Basil, cilantro, rosemary, never had one fail me. Their design and presentation is beautiful too. Clean layouts, clear labeling, easy-to-read fonts. But this isn't just about looking nice. The information they provide actually helps you avoid the common mistakes that frustrate new gardeners. Overwatering, planting too deep, wrong spacing, poor sun exposure. They address it all. If you're growing in containers or small raised beds, their packets tell you exactly how deep to plant your seeds, how frequently to water, which varieties stay naturally compact. Price-wise, they're positioned really competitively. You're not paying for a fancy brand name markup. And their website has a zone finder tool. Enter your zip code and it shows recommended planting dates for your specific area. That's incredibly helpful for beginners who don't know when to start seeds indoors or direct sow outdoors. They have a rewards program. Every purchase earns points toward free seeds. If you're buying multiple packets anyway, sign up first. I've earned over $40 in free seeds just from my regular orders. That's real money staying in your pocket. Hit the subscribe button if you are loving this video. Source 4. University Extension Programs. All right, source number 4 is where things get really interesting. Most gardeners have no idea that state university agricultural extension programs sell seeds and plants directly to the public. Penn State, Cornell University in New York, University of California, Davis, Texas A&M, they all run programs that offer research-tested varieties at near wholesale prices. This is the hidden gold mine. Why does this matter? These aren't random seeds. These are varieties tested in actual university research trials. Germination rates documented, disease resistance proven, yield data recorded. When you buy from Penn State's extension program, you're getting seeds that survived rigorous testing in your exact climate. Studies show university-tested varieties produce 30 to 40% higher yields compared to general retail seeds because they're regionally optimized. That's not marketing, that's published research. Google your state plus university plus seed program. Most have annual sales, usually February through April. Sign up for their mailing lists now because inventory sells out fast. Prices are shockingly low, often 50 to 70% cheaper than nurseries, because universities aren't profit-driven, they're education-focused. Extension offices often offer free workshops on seed saving, preservation, and storage. You learn the right techniques from actual horticulturists instead of guessing. They teach you to avoid genetic drift, maintain variety purity, and properly cure seeds. Game changer for anyone serious about building their own seed collection year after year. Do you use garlic cloves one at a time or toss in half a bulb? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm curious how people actually cook with it. Source number 3 is something most casual gardeners never discover: specialty plant societies. We're talking groups like the North American Rock Garden Society, the Hardy Plant Society, the Seed Savers Exchange Member Network. These are membership-based communities where serious growers trade rare, hard-to-find varieties that commercial companies don't carry. Imagine this. You want a specific alpine perennial that tolerates cold winters and thrives in containers. Nurseries don't stock it because there's not enough demand. But someone in the Rock Garden Society has been growing it for 10 years and saved seeds. They'll send you a packet for $2 or even trade for something you're growing. This is access to plant genetics you literally cannot buy anywhere else. We're talking heirloom tomatoes from Italy, rare peppers from Peru, medicinal herbs that are borderline extinct. Here's your access strategy. Join 1 or 2 societies that match your interests. Annual memberships run $20 to $50. Most have online seed exchanges where members list available varieties. You browse, request what you want, pay minimal shipping. Some operate on honor system trading. You send seeds, they send seeds. Zero money exchanged. Also, societies publish yearbooks and newsletters with growing guides written by experts who've been cultivating these plants for decades. The knowledge alone is worth the membership. What's the rarest or most unusual plant you've ever wanted to grow? Drop it in the comments. I bet someone watching has seeds and might trade with you. Source number 2, wholesale grower networks. We're getting into serious insider territory now. Source number 2 is wholesale grower cooperatives and bulk seed networks. These are the actual suppliers that nurseries and garden centers buy from. Companies like Johnny's Selected Seeds wholesale division out of Maine, Harris Seeds in New York, Stokes Seeds. Most people don't realize you can buy directly from them without a business license. Here's the secret nurseries don't want you to know. Many wholesale suppliers allow individual purchases if you hit minimum order amounts, usually $50 to $100. That sounds like a lot, but remember, you're buying at the same prices commercial growers pay. A 1-pound bag of lettuce seeds that would cost you $300 plus in retail packets? $25 wholesale. That's enough lettuce to feed your neighborhood for 2 years. The savings are absolutely insane once you start buying in larger quantities. Here's how to shop wholesale. Visit supplier websites and look for individual grower or home gardener sections. Many have carved out areas for non-commercial buyers. Compare unit pricing carefully. Sometimes buying a 1-ounce pack is 10 times cheaper per seed than retail packets. Consider splitting orders with gardening friends or neighbors to hit minimums while keeping costs reasonable per person. And pay attention to germination rate listings. Wholesale suppliers publish this data transparently, something retail rarely does. Wholesale suppliers often clearance previous year inventory in late fall. Germination rates are still excellent for 2 to 3 years if stored properly, but prices drop 40 to 60%. That's when I stock up. You can build an entire seed collection for pennies on the dollar just by timing your purchases right. All right, we've covered 7 hidden sources that could legitimately transform how you garden and how much money you keep in your wallet. But source number 1? This is the one that professional growers, botanical gardens, and serious hobbyists guard like state secrets. I almost didn't include it because honestly, it feels like sharing insider information that wasn't meant for public consumption. But you've stuck with me this far and you deserve the absolute best. This source is completely free. You won't believe it exists. Here it comes. Source number 1. International seed banks and government agricultural preservation programs. We're talking USDA's GRIN database, that's Germplasm Resources Information Network. National seed banks in Canada, the UK, Australia. These are massive government-funded repositories created to preserve global plant genetics. And here's what almost nobody knows. You can request seeds directly from them for free or minimal processing fees. Why is this number 1? Because you're accessing genetic material that took decades, sometimes centuries, to collect and preserve. Varieties adapted to extreme climates, drought-resistant land races, disease-proof heirlooms that are extinct in commercial markets. The USDA GRIN database alone contains over 500,000 seed accessions. That's 500,000 varieties you cannot find anywhere else on Earth. Here's how to access this goldmine. Visit the GRIN Global Database online. Search by crop type, climate adaptation, specific traits you need. When you find something interesting, request a small quantity. Usually they'll send 10 to 50 seeds per variety for research or conservation purposes. There's no cost beyond shipping, typically $5 to $10. Now there's one catch. You need to provide basic information about your growing setup and agree to share feedback on performance. It's not complicated. They just want to know how these varieties perform in real-world conditions. This is how botanical gardens and universities access rare plants. Now you can too. Let's do a quick recap. You now have 8 hidden sources that could save you hundreds of dollars. Source number 8, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, rare heirloom varieties and free catalogs. Source number 7, Seed Savers Exchange, heritage preservation with open-pollinated seeds you can save year after year. Source number 6, Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, regional climate specialists perfect for challenging conditions. Source number 5, Botanical Interests, beginner-friendly packets with detailed instructions built right in. Source number 4, University Extension Programs, research-tested varieties at wholesale prices with free workshops. Source number 3, Specialty Plant Societies, rare seed exchanges and expert knowledge from serious growers. Source number 2, Wholesale Grower Cooperatives, commercial pricing available to home gardeners. And source number 1, Government Seed Banks, free access to 500,000 varieties preserved for future generations. Here are your 3 action steps right now. First, bookmark at least 3 of these sources before this video ends. Don't wait, do it now. Second, calculate how much you spent on seeds and plants last year. I guarantee you'll spend 50 to 70% less using these sources. Third, start with source number 5 or source number 8 if you're newer to seed starting. They're the most beginner-friendly with clear instructions and reliable results. Here's some bonus value for sticking with me until the end. Once you start buying from these sources, you'll want to save seeds properly. It's simpler than you think. For dry seeds like beans, peas, and lettuce, just let the pods dry completely on the plant. Harvest them on a sunny day. Store them in paper bags in a cool, dry place. They'll stay viable for 2 to 3 years easily. For wet seeds, like tomatoes and cucumbers, you'll need to ferment them first. Scoop the seeds in gel into a jar. Add water. Let it sit for 3 to 4 days until it gets bubbly and a film forms on top. The good seeds sink to the bottom. The bad seeds float. Pour off the floating ones. Rinse the good seeds thoroughly. Dry them on paper towels for 1 to 2 days. Then store in labeled envelopes or jars. That's it. You've just created your own seed supply for next year at 0 cost. Label everything clearly. Write the plant name, the date you saved them, a note about how the plant performed. This information becomes incredibly valuable when you're planning next season. You'll remember which varieties produced the most food, which handled heat best, which tasted amazing. If this video just saved you hundreds of dollars, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps more gardeners discover this information. Subscribe for more money-saving gardening secrets. Drop a comment below telling me which source you're trying first. I'll personally reply with my best shopping tips for that specific site. Seriously, I read every single comment, and I love helping you succeed. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming. Thanks for watching. Remember, the best garden is the one you can actually afford to grow. These 8 sources give you exactly that. Professional quality seeds and plants without the professional prices. You've got this. Now go build the garden you've always wanted without breaking the bank. I'll see you in the next video.